Hello folks, this is Steve AB4L. I was just snooping around a couple of minutes ago and want to show you what I found. Now, remember, I started with computers in 1983. Yeah, programming CPUs, Motorola 6809. So I saw the beginning of the web. And to have a web, you have to have a web server. And the original was called HTTPD, Apache HTTPD. HTTP, Hypertext Protocol, D is for daemon, meaning it's a program. So today there's the Apache Software Foundation. Now this is just going to take a second. Welcome to the Apache Software Foundation. The feather's their symbol. 25 years. It's 2025, so we're talking 1995 to 2024. The most popular open source software is Apache, but that's a brand name now. When it first started, Apache meant the web server. Apache project list. You can look at it by category. For instance, what projects do they have that are cloud, which are HTTP, which are graphics. Those are categories, suggesting there's one or more Apache projects within the category. But you can do it by name. Now I noticed this tricked me. I got to this page and I immediately started to look under H, which is right here. Now look at how many projects they have. Software projects they have. Look at how many software projects they have. Some are named things like Petri, like Petri dish, or Griffin, or Velocity, or Olingo, whatever those are. I can understand a little bit more like Open Web Beans. You may not understand that. That's a Java thing. NetBeans is a Java thing. See it right there? But I looked up here for HTTPD. There's HTTP components. There's HBase. But where's the HTTPD? And then, after much struggle, I noticed that before you even get to A, there's something called HTTP server, which is what they call HTTPD these days. And it's even, it's like halfway to heaven. It's not even under the alphabetical list because that was the first one. I'm explaining why they did that. The number one HTTP server on the internet. It's open source, launched in 1995. So we're looking at what is the current release. 2.4.63. Remember that, 0.63. 2.4, which is a family of sub-releases, incremental. 63 is the current one. Now, some like 2.2 are on end of life, which means they won't get any support for things like security updates real soon. Why don't we go to download? So here are now tar.bz, that's for Linux. I got Windows. And this is for the source, and that means you compile it yourself. And since it's written for Linux, probably everything you need to compile it is there. This stuff is written for Linux, not Windows, not Apple. And then it says files for Microsoft Windows. But where's the download? This is for the source. Where's the download? Hang on. Subjects. Let me find the download. And by the way, the date of this section is January 23rd this year. Let's go to download. Downloading the Apache HTTP server. We want 2463 is the latest version. Here are the announcement things. There's an archive download site if you want to get some of the earlier ones. The stable release, the latest one is 2463, released of January 23rd. And we're going to open that window. And it takes me to this right here, which means you do it yourself. But let's look back here. If you are downloading the Win32 distribution, read these important notes. Download from your nearest mirror site. Click here to find the nearest mirror. See, this is for Windows. They're already straight arming you. They're telling you all this stuff you need to be sure about what you're downloading. Files for Windows. Oh, here we go. Downloading Apache web server for Windows. Now watch what happens. The Apache HTTP server project itself does not provide binary. That means you download a binary and you can run it immediately. You don't have to do anything more. And there it is. Your Chrome browser, when it installs it or an update, it's installing binaries, the ones and zeros, that the computer can understand. The HTTP server project itself does not provide binary releases of software, only source code. And I told you, on the assumption you're on Linux and you just follow the instructions, and Linux has all the tools you need and libraries to do the compiling and get the binaries. And you just click on something and it does it. Individual committers may provide binary packages as convenience, but it's not a release development. If you cannot compile Apache HTTP server yourself on Windows, you can obtain a binary package from numerous, notice that, numerous binary distributions available on the internet for Linux or Windows but we're talking about Windows. Popular options for deploying Apache HTTPD, remember, that's the original name, and optionally PHP, that's a programming language to make a website that's interactive with you, especially for selling things. And MySQL, which is a database, open source, on Microsoft Windows includes, and here are 4 names. And this is why I'm making the video. There's some place called Apache Lounge. I vaguely remember that. Then there's something called Bitnami WAMP Stack. That's the first I've heard of it, but I haven't tried to do this in probably 10 years. And then there's the WAMP server. That's a new one to me. And then there's XAMPP. Now, this is going to sound, why am I showing you this? The one I used to download was called XAMPP. All I had to do was install it. It would bring down the Apache HTTP for Windows, PHP, and MySQL. But I used to get on a website called Portable Apps. Portable Apps, that's one word. And you go to the app directory, portable app directory, over 1,100 portable packages. What does that mean? It means that it's self-contained, and when you download that and you click to uncompress it, it does everything in one folder, and the executable is there, and it does not interact with the Windows registry in any way. It's not a Microsoft installer base, MSI. So it doesn't do anything with registry or anything, and if you don't like it, you just delete that folder. It's gone and your computer's clean. What I just said probably doesn't mean much to you, but if you've been with Windows and Windows installables. So they have categories, and we're looking for Internet. And we're looking for XAMPP or whatever. And when I look down here, have I got that right? XAMPP, I've got it right. It would be at the end of the list. It's not there. It used to be. What happened? Now watch. This is the Apache site. These are the 4. Now they say, here's one of the places where you can get it plus these other things. The page you're looking for doesn't exist. Whatever address it is that it was trying to go to, it doesn't exist. Oh, does that match up with the fact that we can't find it on portable apps? Possibly. I remember Apache Lounge, but this kind of has a similar name, and this has a similar name. You see AMPP, AMP, WAMP. Let's look at this one. Boy, that guy looks crazy. Actually, that figure looks familiar. Now, what's interesting about this site? Can you read it? Apache, PHP, MySQL, SU, Windows. Telecharger, Formation, Form, Platform, Day Development, Web, SU, Windows. Web WAMP server estun platform de development web sous Windows pour des applications web dynamiques à aider du server Apache 2. Pardon my really rotten French pronunciation. And up here it says it's willing to give me an English translation. But that's, and if you look here, there's an English version and a Russian version. Can you read the Cyrillic? So you can see who his audience is. It's not mainly the United States. I may try this just to see what it's like. So back to this. Oh, that's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4. On this page here, Apache House, Apache Lounge, Bitami. Who's this? Now, these are both on Apache, but in two different places, and they're not. But let's go back here. Let's look at this one. Wherever it is, the Bitami Developer Center, Broadcom. Oh, Broadcom. Didn't Broadcom get sold in the last year, and there's a lot of kerfuffle about certain products and how they're going to be licensed, and so this doesn't surprise me. But this one here came off of here. So we'll have to rely on that. Oh, wait a minute. Let's try this from here. Okay, that's still 404 not found. WAMP server. That's still the Frenchman. Bitami. That's lost. Oh, yeah, we also want Apache Lounge. Now, I want you to see the contrast. Apache House, which would be like German, HAUS, Apache binaries for Windows. Apache binaries are built on the original source released by the Apache software, and have been compiled using Visual Studio 2017 or 2019 or 2022 to obtain higher performance and better stability. They use the Apache Portable Runtime OpenSSL, zip-lib, but what's the latest Apache server? 2.4.68. Here's 2.4x. 2.4x. Let's see if they get more specific. They just say X. First time I'm seeing this page in maybe 15 years. Yeah. 2.4.6.3. Not far behind. Not far behind. 2.4.6.3. Not far behind. Pretty good. See how I find things? Would you have found it? I looked in the notes. Now here's Apache Lounge. I think I tried them once. They are also offering it on Visual Studio 17, like the one we just looked at. They've got a new C++ redistributable. Now, what I liked about this when I looked at it is that they help you get things instead of just making you chase off to places like Microsoft. Supporting libraries for compiling. And they give you the latest redistributables right here to download instead of sending you to Microsoft to figure it out. I love them. And what's their latest? 2463, available from them, these people, as of February 7th for the Win64, and they also still support Win32, 32 bits. Be sure the download is intact and not tampered with. Use the PGP signature. I'm not going to explain that. Now, I want to show you one more thing. This one here. Remember, it does that, so the Apache Foundation doesn't know where they are, if they exist, and it's not on portable apps. So what would you do? It's really strange. Did these guys just quit? So what you do is you highlight, you right-click, and you say Google. There's somebody there that still calls themselves that. They're on a website that's called ApacheFriends.org. Remember there was an Apache Lounge? They want you to understand that they are somehow attached downstream to the side to that original Apache HTTPD server software. So here it is, XAMPP install, and I have installed this in various versions when I wanted to play around. I had a reason why I needed to have a web server on my local computer. It's the most popular PHP development. You want to develop a PHP type website that allows you to develop the web pages that it can be interactive with for commercial reasons, stuff like that. I'm big on Perl, and these are their versionings. And I went and I looked, can I figure out what version of HTTPD are they using? And I said, read more. See how you have to worm your way through? Answer, the current version uses 2458. That Apache Lounge is 2463, and the absolutely latest source code release is 2468. You'd have to look and see whether there are any fixes that would be critical to you to make the decision. Inside of my house, no big deal. Out on the web, depends on what you're using the web to support, web server to support. In other words, what kind of hackers and botnets will be after you next. So it contains PHP, that's a programming interface, Apache, the web server, MariaDB, that's another database, so they're not using MySQL. PHPMyAdmin, okay. OpenSSL, that's open source also. curl, I have used curl library And Tomcat, that's the Java portion. How do I know that? That's from Apache too. How did I know that? Oh, I go back a long way with Tomcat. It's a Java-based, Java programming language. You want to see? Add support specifying Java 22. I'm not stupid. I'm retired. It's just that, whatever. I'm just having fun, folks. So for some reason, these people have kissed the Apache Foundation goodbye, or they moved and they didn't tell them, or the people at Apache are so overwhelmed and they kind of sneer at Windows binaries anyway, and they go, who gives a shit? I have no idea what they're doing. But you saw how many projects they support? They probably don't have enough volunteers to take care of all that shit. They've outgrown themselves, is what I'm saying. They're only going to clean sweep the important projects, and the Windows binaries are. So each of these projects that offer you Windows binary versions, see, they go through all the hell of pulling together enough stuff to actually take what is basically Linux-based code and get it to compile on Windows and find the necessary other libraries and distributors that fill in the blanks that would be a part of a normal Linux distribution in order to get it to run on Windows 64. Kol hakavod. That's Hebrew for all the honors. That's a compliment. So this one is up to date, and the previous one, just to show you, was November 2023, which would give you a feeling for how big a project it is. Okay? And this started because I went to the Apache server, customizing Apache for Windows, and they try to give you some directives on it. And it was originally meant to, because Apache for Windows is multi-threaded, it does not use a separate process for each request as Apache on Linux can. Instead, there usually are two Apache processes. So they're trying to tell you all the big exceptions to look out for. Things that would trip you up because you're not on the superior Linux. And I'm going to go to one last thing. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I saw one more thing when I was exploring this. Wait a minute. Windows HTTPD for... Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think I know where. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Apache Lounge. Hang on. Downloads. Wait a minute. These guys have been doing it for 15 years. Hang on. I saw something when I was exploring earlier. Hang on. Well, one that can run in browser. How to run Apache server in browser. Oh, is that what they meant? I understand that. Pardon me for drifting off, folks. Okay, now I understand what that is. I know what 127.0.0.1 is. Okay, that's called localhost. Pardon me. This is the kind of stuff I'm interested in, and part of it's reminiscing. But I had an idea about something I wanted to do, and I want to be able to install, like I used to, quickly, easily, an HTTPD server, so I'd have the basis for with my little experiments, and I got wound up in this stuff. And it's fun for oldsters like me. Steve A. before you. Not quite senile yet. Saying see you in 73.